everybody, PattyAnne here. Welcome back. Listen, I've got a request to ask of you today. Some people in our group say that oftentimes they have issues with, they're losing their mojo. It comes, it goes, whatever, like that, So we were thinking of a way to help us all get our mojo back. And what better way than to craft with each other, right? So here's my offer to you. I bought I bought 5 Digi stamp collections, okay? Digi stamp sets. And what I want to do is I'm going to give it to 4 different people who will say, yeah, PattyAnne, I'll join you on Zoom. I got a camera. It can point down. Oh, and let me show you. Your camera really only needs to be able to see this much of your desktop. We won't watch your face or anything. We're just going to watch you put your card together, whether you're using, your big ATG gun, or you're using your art glitter glue, or you're using a cuddle bug, or the markers, or the pencils that I just had in. We're just going to get together, hang out, and make cards. Now, the first 4 of you who sign up to be on the Zoom class live, all you need, like I said, is a camera and maybe a cup of something to drink, but you will get the free Digi set that's worth $8 just for being on and hanging out and making your card. And here's the best part. We're not having a contest. We're just calling this the Digi Club. Digital, because our stuff is digital to start with. And we're just going to call it the Digi Club. We're just going to get together and craft together. And we can watch the 4 people who are crafting in front of us as we at home are crafting along with them. And here's the other thing. There's not going to be any judging, not going to be any voting. I remember all too well being sad when I had something I hoped people would vote on, and if they didn't vote on it. Or remember way back when you were a little kid and you'd go outside and play, and we used to play kickball a lot. And there were 2 teams, right? 2 captains. And they would choose people to be on their team, one and then the other. And I remember how sad the last person to get called felt. So we're not going to judge each other's cards. Ours is just going to be totally encouraging. We're not going to vote on each other's cards. Everyone's cards have merit. And hey, if you want to, when you're done with your card, maybe you'll donate it to Cards for Kids. But more on that later. So for right now, let's go up above, actually over that way, to my screen. And I'm going to show you what you'll get if you're one of the first 4 people that sign up to be in the Digi Club. You'll be like charter members. So let's go to my desk now. Okay, the first thing you'll do is you'll get an email from me with the free download. Well, it's not a free download. I've paid for it, but it's free to you download. So you'll just come here and say download now. Once it downloads, you'll just open it up by coming here and saying extract all. Okay, and it's called Winter's Tale. So now I'll just come to Silhouette and I'll go to File, Merge, and I'll go to my downloads, and it should be Winter's Tale right here and Winter's Tale. So I can just start bringing in some of these things. See, I'll bring in that little guy. Isn't he cute? And go to File and Merge. And this little one. Okay. And then I'll bring in some of those branches. So File and Merge. And I'm going to duplicate this one a few times. I'm going to show you why in just a sec. I'm going to go to File and Merge. And I'm going to get that other branch. And let's see, I'll remove that. Okay. So what I have to do now is I have to figure out, am I just going to cut all these things out? Or do I want to have them on a circle or a square? And let me show you my inspiration piece. So let's go back here. And if you look at this page, I think go here. Where do we see it? I might have to go back to the collections. Here, let's go Winter's Tale. and I'll just search for that. A winter's tale. Okay, and there it is. And the reason why I did this was because I wanted you to be able to read about it here and see it is an $8 value. But I also wanted you to look down below here because this gives you a couple ideas of what someone else did, how they colored them, that they put a little texture here and there. This is a cute one. Look, they added the little guy, whoopsie, flying in with the envelope. This one's really special. Look at all that. But you know, the sky's the limit. I could come back to silhouette. And now the thing is, I could either print these out just like this to have them up off of the card, or I could trace them, as you know, like right now I can't color him here, but if I wanted to color him here, I could come over to the trace area, select the trace area and trace him. Up the threshold a little bit so it's all closed in and say trace. Then I'll have him, I can move him out. He is traced, and I can make my stamps, remember, any size I want to. I could just make a card with one big chick like this on it if I'd like, and put him on a branch, and I could make the branch larger if I wanted to, right? And I could right click and say send the branch to the back. But of course you can't really tell that it's being sent to the back because there's no color in him. So what I could do first, you know I do this. Whenever I am tracing something and I'm going to color it in, the first thing I do is change the color to a color I know I'm not going to use in this guy. And you know, usually it's one of my lighter colors, and usually I go with this greens. Just do that. And then I can go to Object, release the compound path. So that gives me all the little boxes that make him up, right? And now I could begin to color them if I want to. Maybe I want those two little puff balls on his head to be gray. Oh, that got the hat too, which is fine. But if I didn't want it to get the hat, I could have fixed that too. If you're more experienced with using this software, you would know how to fix that. And I'll show you what to do. I would just scroll right in here, and you see that opening right there and that opening right there? I would close those up by coming over here to the line tool, changing the weight of the line tool to maybe a 2, and then just drawing something here like that. And then just drawing something, oops, I got to get the line tool again, and then just drawing something here like that. And of course I could have made it a rounded line, but now I want to show you, if I scroll back out and I take that color back out to what it was, let's go ahead and retrace this, and I wanted to show you what will happen now. So I'm going to go to the trace tool, which looks like the piece of toast to me, select the trace area and trace around this. And up my threshold. Oh, I probably should have taken, let me go back a minute. Let's go back to the way he was to begin with. So let me just delete him. Okay, to make it easier on myself, let's bring him back in and make him larger. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put those lines in. And if I want to, I could use the curve shape right here. So I could try to make it a little curvier than what it was. But you notice what I didn't do was up the line height, but I guess it's okay. I'm going to try that again though. So I'm going to change this to a 2. I just like 2. I'm going to scroll way in on this little puff ball, and I'm going to start, look at these lines that are here. That's funny. Huh. Well, I'm going to start here. Maybe whoever made this put those little lines in there so we could color it. But I'm going to put some more lines in here by coming to the line tool. And the tool that I actually like is draw a polygon. So I'm going to come right here, click, 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 click. Okay, there's one polygon. And I'll start again. I'm going to come to the line tool, the polygon tool. And as soon as I find my cursor, there it is. I'm just going to start here in the dark line. Click, click, click till it gets in there. And now, whoops, I got to double click to end it. Now I should be able to trace this and get this puffball a different color. I find it interesting that they did put those little lines there, the person that designed this. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the trace tool, select the trace area and trace. And now this time I'm going to up the threshold. Okay, so I'm a little worried because these don't look like they're totally closed. Let's look and see. Okay, that is closed and that is closed and that is. Okay, so this should be fine. So I'm going to say trace again. And I'm going to move this guy off. I don't need him anymore. Nor do I need these little pieces that I drew on. Delete. So now what I can do is do the same thing I had done before. Click on him. Come up here. Change it to a color I probably won't be using. And then come up here to Object. Release the compound path. And again, that fills in all the boxes. Now, if I've done this properly, we should be able to color this puffball in a separate color. This one we won't because there are still these openings that go out to the hat. So let's see, there's that puffball. See if we can change it to a purple. Sure, but let's try to get this one. This one I can't because notice it gets his whole hat. But it's easy peasy to fix. Simply I could have scrolled in and knowing that there were these openings here, closed them up with the line tool just as I had done before. Okay, so again, you can color things here and print them off as print then cuts, or you can just print this guy out. Let me group all this together. You can just print this guy out at any size that you'd like. Again, as I said, you could put him on branches. You could click on this branch and come over here to the replicate panel and you could say to mirror it to the right. Now, hopefully I'm not driving you nuts and confusing you. But you don't have to do all this fancy schmancy. You can just do whatever you feel like doing. You see how I brought him to the front of those branches now? And he could be the only guy on my card if I like. Could make him smaller, make sure he was going to fit on my card, and I could just print him out just like that and put him on my card. Now, if I wanted to pop dot him up, I could always just get him and add an offset, or I could go ahead and grab everything and go ahead to the offset tool, add an offset to everything, and I could change the color of the offset for you so you can see it. And there's my offset. Now it's going to cut, out on the outer edge of the offset once I group them together, but I'm noticing a couple little spots in here that I might not want to have cut as holes, like that little spot right there. And you remember what we've learned in the Patreon classes. You just have to double click on this thing to get the nodes and then click on one which highlights it. Let me scroll in for you. Which highlights it, which makes it the active node, which means I can delete it. Just like that. Then there's another one over here. Delete, delete, delete. And I think that might be it. It's up to me if I want to have these things cut out or not. Put him back up on top of there. And then I could group him together. And as you know, if you have him grouped together, and if you want to change his color back to white, you can do that. Now, if you're going to, whoops, nope, not while he's grouped. I got to ungroup him first. And now just get the offset and change it back to white. Okay, I know I have the offset selected because look at the color up here that is selected. I'm going to change it back to white. All right, now if I'm going to cut this in Cricut Design Space or with my Cricut machine, my Cricut Explorer Air, what I like to do is change the color of the line. Right up here is the line color to a medium gray. Then I would group all this. Then while that's selected, I would go to File, Save Selection, save it to the hard drive, check for Cricut. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Now this is just if I'm going to print then cut these Digi stamps. I'll leave all these numbers like they are, save. I'll open up Cricut Design Space, maximize it, say New Project, Upload, Upload an Image, Browse. Where did I put him? I wasn't paying attention. Maybe he's in my new folder, hopefully. Let's see. Here it is, Chick for Cricut. Open. So he comes in like that. I'll say complex and continue. Now you can see that there's an offset around him, but we want to get rid of this white stuff because this white outer stuff. So if I click here, it's doing perfectly. It's not getting rid of my offset. If it did, what you've learned is to come up here and change your select and erase tool by going to advanced options and changing your color tolerance to 8 to see if that would work. But we would just continue with this and save. Then I could just bring him right in. And he's ready to be print and cut. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I know that that offset's still there? Well, just come down here to where it says blank canvas and then come up here to the color swatch and change it to something else. And then you can see exactly what's going to cut. So you would just go to make it and there would be your beautiful Digi stamp, just like that for our Digi Club. So that's how easy it is there. Let's just quickly go back to Silhouette. Look, isn't he cute? Oh my gosh. And then there are sayings that go with this as well. But if you were doing this in Silhouette, all you do is go send. And when you first hit send, it would look like this. So you need to come up here and say cut edge. And that will make it so it simply cuts around the edge and around your nice offset that you made. So of course I print it first and then put it in here to have the edge cut, but I would have also put registration marks on here, as you know. So that's how easy it is. Let's go back to design. Let's just look at some of these other pieces that you'll get if you decide to be the charter member in the Digi Club. So let me change these line colors to to black so it looks better. Okay, there's those two and some more of these. Let's see what else you're going to get. Merge. This little guy. Must be at the top there. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness, look at those. The faces are just adorable on these things. Look. File and merge. There's that one. I think that's the one I made. You get some happy mail, an envelope, some sentiments, the little mailbox. Okay, a file and merge. Hopefully your creative juices are just running, thinking of things that maybe you could make with these little guys for a card. Wouldn't it be adorable? File and merge. And remember, this is just a fun club, the Digi Club. And we're not going to be doing any kind of a voting on what we like best because we're just all trying to help each other keep our mojo going. These would be super cute for Christmas, don't you think, for Christmas cards? So thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you want to sign up to be one of the very first Digi Club members and get this free set of Digi stamps. Thanks. Bye, y'all. Okay, here are my Digi stamps, all printed out and ready to go with the registration marks. So at this point now, I could begin coloring these with my pencil. If you have a laser printer, I hear those are wonderful to use with Digi stamps, as well as I think a lot of the, I forget exactly which ones, but some of them the printers have pigment ink in them, which is not as apt to run. My printer that I bought over there has pigment ink in it. I like to use colored pencils. I like to blend them. I like to use the blending tool. It's just a lot of fun. So during the live presentation. This is what we'll see you doing. Maybe coloring these, maybe putting them through your Cuttlebug or whatever you happen to have, your squares for the backing, maybe actually just gluing it together. But we'll just see your hands working, and then the people at home, the audience, they can also be working all too, and so we can kind of like have a crafting buddy. Especially helps if you're having issues with your mojo, you know, or you just want to have some fun and you like having company while you work. So again, all you'll need to do is to just let me know that you want to be one of the first ones who will get the stamp set for free, and who knows, maybe some other goodies too, since you'll be the first ones. Being brave. So let me explain to you about this page now. This page has the registration marks on it, and if you look up at my screen, you can see it up here as well, right here, right? So if I just grab all of these things and group them, and then I file and save it to the hard drive or to my library, I'm just going to name it full sheet and save it as a silhouette file and say okay. So the reason why I'm showing you this is this. Suppose you don't want to color all these right now and you want to, or cut them all out right now. You want to save them. As long as you've saved that with the registration marks on it, you can close out this page. You could close out this page. No. You can close out every one of these pages. And as a matter of fact, you could even close out the software and then reopen it. Move that down. And once it's reopened, you can go to File and Open and find that full sheet. Here it is. So notice it comes in perfectly with the registration marks already on it, as long as I don't move anything on this mat, and I obviously haven't moved anything on my paper. It'll be good to go into my computer, and I could have gone ahead and worked on other things, close this out, and come back to this a week later or something. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into my cutter right now, just so you can see the little parts that we get. And again, I'm using the portrait. I do have the Cameo 3, a Cameo 4, and the Cricut Explorer Air 2. I used to have a scan and cut, but I don't any longer. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go to send it. And, okay, this one came in with everything just cutting the edge. If it had come in with this thing selected where it just says cut, there may have been a lot more cut lines, but it came in with cut edge. So my machine should be ready. It's syncing, it's checking, it says it's now ready. So I'll go send. It's going to read the registration marks and cut, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, they've all been cut out, and I can continue decorating them, embellishing them, and thinking about my card. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a really pretty red. I don't know, red's one of my favorite colors. I'm not sure, but I think I'll wait for a little bit and see what I feel like doing as I go along with these. So I'll continue coloring them, and I'll start designing my outer edge. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Again, consider being one of the first 4 in our Digi Club challenge. Okay, again, it's just for fun, no voting, all positive. Love you guys. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified of when we do go live with our first Digi Club. Bye.